Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpol and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah. Well, hello, dummies, and welcome to episode number 123 of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim McJesus Van Stratton, joined by Rodney Newpol. Rodney, happy Tuesday.
What's up, man? What's up? Nice little weekend of football, fun weekend. And did you know, you did know, but a little tidbit, there's just 3 football games left. That's it. Just 3 football games left.
That's always a sobering reality when you put it that way. And it's something that we don't really think about too much. But then it's like, yeah, you're right. Once you start to prepare for Championship Sunday, it's like, this is it. Like,
yeah. And after this, next week will be no football.
Pro Bowl games.
Yeah.
Do those happen before the Super Bowl still? And they're not really like, it's like flag football now, right? Or is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is it?
It's changed a couple times, but yeah, that's it's a boring week. But as a large NCAA basketball fan, it is kind of This is the conversion. College football fans start coming over as early as today. The college sports fans. And then, after the Super Bowl, it really starts to hit, and then you get spring training coming up right around the corner. So plenty on the horizon, but 3 football games left. That's it.
Well, one less game, and we're going to get to NFL, little baseball talk later on in the show. We're going to start with the college football playoff and Indiana. The Hoosiers. The who?
Your Hoosiers
beats the U. Yeah, it was really perfect. Not only did my Indiana Hoosiers, as a lifelong fan of 2 months of just betting them against the spread, not only did they win, but also Miami covered, and that helped my best bets for betting a little bit. But really, really good game last night. What was so incredible, Rodney, and I mentioned this in our group chat, is like, I think a lot of people wanted to watch like Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman winner, coming back home against, and I had no idea that he was denied a walk-on spot at Miami, and that's sort of part of the whole lore of him, right? But Heisman winner, undefeated, number 1 Indiana, coming down back to his hometown with a chance to cap off this perfect season. And honestly, like, he didn't play that well.
No.
And I didn't think it was like, oh man, he's really bad. I thought Miami's defense was really good. Like, the pass rush was really good. I thought his receivers were super well guarded. I thought Indiana's secondary was just incredible too. On the other side, where Carson Beck did not have many open receivers yesterday. But all that to say with Mendoza, like, he did not have a game that was like, oh yeah, no wonder he's the number 1 pick until and obviously everyone's going to point to 4th and 5, the run, and the second effort, the third effort, just to get into the end zone and the dive, which that photo is going to be everywhere on the Indiana campus for the next 200 years. But some of the throws that he made on 3rd down, on 4th down in those big pressure spots, like it was more of the group of plays rather than the overall performance that my takeaway was like, oh yeah, this kid has it. He's going to be fine. He's going to be good. But I was super impressed by both teams. Like, Indiana played really well. I thought Miami's defense for a lot of the game looked great. Obviously they can run the football very well, but it was a fun game, man. And I think this was the best possible outcome, with Indiana capping off, potentially at 16-0. There's an argument.
Yeah.
There's an argument at 16-0, because there are not going to be a lot of teams, as long as we keep expanding the playoffs and playing all these additional games, that are going to accomplish what Indiana just accomplished this year.
Yeah, no, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to go 16-0 or 17-0, whatever, the threshold will be. But I wanted to get back to that run. Jim Matson, local guy, he compared the Fernando Mendoza run to the Ben Johnson saying of good, better, best. It was good. He ran for a 1st down. Better. Oh, he extended to play. Best. He leaped into the end zone. That was a great play, and showed that he was going to put his body, and he put his body on the line all night. Miami bloodied him up. You know, he showed his arm, it was bruised up, and that's kind of how Miami had to play. They had to play a little chippy, maybe borderline dirty. The hit, probably a little dirty, but that's kind of how you have to play when you're the underdog. You know, you hope they don't go over the line, and I don't think they did outside of maybe the hit. That probably crossed the line. But, you know, hats off to both teams, because I really thought Mario Cristobal had a pretty good plan for Indiana and just didn't get it there at the end. And I was a little disappointed in Carson Beck's final play there. Like, what are we looking at? Why it kind of was like the Caleb Williams Sunday night. Like, what are we doing there? Yeah. Why are we trying to extend it down the field? He had 50 seconds, you know, in college football, getting that first down slows the game down. It slows the clock down. And he didn't have to try to go 30 yards. He could have just got 8, 9, 10 yards. And anyways, that's what happened. And good game, though. Good college football game.
Yeah, you're so right about that. Like, it's one thing if it's the NFL and you're just trying to gain as many yards as possible. But was it second down? Was it third down? I don't remember what the situation was, like the specific down on that throw. But you're so right. Like, you go 10 yards at a time. You get the first down, take your time, get to the line. And then the rep, like, once you're ready to snap, then the play continues. Even with no timeouts, they had plenty of time to draw something up. And I think it was just getting a little bit overeager. At no point was the receiver open. Even if it was a miscommunication, like there were 2 Indiana defenders there, it was just a bad decision-making. And, you know, the stat, which you saw, where Carson Beck has 6 losses in his college career. And in those 6 losses, 4 of them ended after Beck threw a sort of game-sealing interception.
Yeah, a nice college career, but that's probably what he's going to be remembered for. What, losing 2, going 1 and 2 in national championships. So back to it, he was second and third with 40 at the 47-yard line with 58 seconds left.
Right.
So second and 3, literally dump down, get a first down. You've got
you
yourself.
You can even run the ball.
Yeah.
Run the ball. And Miami did a great job of running the football yesterday. I mean, got Fletcher 17 carries, 112 yards. Yeah. I know, you know, he had a couple big runs, but like, give the ball to Fletcher.
Yeah, no, for sure. And but there it is. And you know, in Indiana really, I mean, comparatively speaking, Indiana didn't play all that well. They made some silly mistakes. They made a huge mistake on the false start. Or Indiana needed 1 yard basically to seal the game. The ball went backwards. They didn't end up getting it. And I'm like, oh man, that's a team that doesn't typically make those mistakes. Yeah. And but they got the defensive stop there at the end.
The 2 fourth down conversions, and it wasn't 4th in inches.
Yeah,
4th and 5. Yeah, and the decision to, you know, because right before the run for Mendoza, they were up 3. They could have kicked, taken the points, easy 6-point game. I mean, Miami wins that football game if Kirk Cincinnati decides to be conservative there.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you know, we saw, back kind of jumping around here, we saw another missed field goal as college kickers for you, which obviously looms large in a 6-point game. But just a couple mistakes. But overall, like that's about as all you can ask for from a non-Indiana or Miami fan. That's about all you can ask for. Is I was interested the entire game.
Yeah. One last note here on Miami. What is crazy, and I think this is a testament to Miami's talent overall. You know, our Indiana buddy in the group chat, Aaron, has covered this Indiana team week after week after week, and really knows exactly like everything about the Hoosiers this year. Said like, you need to be perfect to beat them.
Yeah.
Miami was far from perfect. Like Miami had no offense in the first half. They had 7 penalties. Like, there's all of these things. They had the missed field goal. They literally had a blocked punt and the worst possible place that you could have a blocked punt, right? Like, all of these things that if there was any other team that did that against Indiana this year, Indiana's beating them by 30 plus points.
Yeah, for sure. For
But,
sure. Yeah.
But all of that, and yet Miami, right before the back throw, was in Indiana territory, had plenty of time, answered like multiple Indiana touchdowns with their own scores, and like had a chance to do what they just did against Ole Miss to Indiana.
Right.
And there was a part of me that thought that they were going to do it. Like I thought that they were going to do it. And so like after all of those mistakes, those compounding mistakes, to still be in a position that late to win, I think that just shows like Miami was really good.
Yeah.
And I'm very fascinated to see what that team looks like next year, because like that to me isn't Miami, this was just a miracle run. Like, no, I think the Hurricanes might have some staying power in the CFP.
Yeah, I mean they're going to have to redo their lines, which was a big part of their team. But now with the money that's out there, they will. They'll go get big defensive and offensive line guys. They'll go get they're talking about grabbing the Duke quarterback. Like they'll get a guy. But yeah, I mean Miami is one of I think you look at Miami over a lot of the SEC schools going forward, because Mario Cristobal is one of the better recruiters there is. You've got Dade County right there where some of the best high school players already play. Yeah, I think Miami is here to stay. And I mean, who's to say Indiana's not? All right. I mean,
yeah.
When you can just literally turn your team over in 1 year, they're going to be right there too, probably.
Mm-hmm. So the question that I posed out there that we found on the bottom line here. So Indiana, best team ever. And look, you can make an argument. The ways you can make the argument by what I said earlier, like they went 16-0.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that we're not going to see that happen very often. Just with the amount of talent now spread out across college football in the new era of name, image, likeness, like you will not see all of the talent hoarded on one or two teams anymore. Right. So like anyone can come up. There's an expanded playoff. You're playing all these extra games. Injuries can happen. So like you could point to that. You could point to the fact that they had 6 wins this year against AP top 10 opponents. By the way, did you see the stat that this year they went 6-0 against AP top 10 teams in their entire program history before this season? They had 6 wins against AP top 10 opponents. They were 6-1-16 and 1.
That's wild
for this year.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And
no, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's Kurt Signetti right there. That's what it is. That's 100% him. I mean, and it's one of the better, if not best, stories of college football of all time.
Yeah, so that's sort of where I was getting at a little bit. So there's the argument for the best team, but I think the argument is more for best coaching job.
Yeah.
And like he came from where? James Madison.
Yep.
His first year, he takes Indiana to the college football playoff.
Yeah.
They go 11-2 in his first year.
His first game at Indiana, there was like 12,000 fans there.
Yeah.
12,000. Do you remember his press conference when he took the job? He came from James Madison, and somebody asked about what they need to know about this guy.
His recruiting pitch. Yeah.
Well, he said, Google me.
Yeah. That's what it said. What is going to be your pitch, your selling point to new recruits to join Indiana? It says, I win. Google me.
That's it.
Now, and like that clip sounds really, really bad if Indiana wins 6 games a year and he gets fired 4 years in.
Yeah, bad.
Instead, what happens is his first year, he goes 11-2, takes them to the playoff. His second year, they don't lose a game. They play in the best conference in the country. They beat Ohio State. They beat Oregon. They beat Miami. They beat Penn State. They beat Oregon again. Like, they didn't lose a game. They didn't lose a game. And like, yeah, they had a lot of, obviously Mendoza was a big transfer, but it's not like Fernando Mendoza was the Heisman favorite going into the season. It's not like Indiana had these huge expectations. They opened the year 20th? Like
I think
they
so,
were
yeah.
they were not projected in the top 10 at all.
And their very first game of the year this year, first play of the game, Old Dominion scored a touchdown. Very first play, returned the kickoff. 7-0 Old Dominion.
Yes, they lost a fumble in the first half of their first game. That was their only lost fumble the entire season.
Wow. Just ball control, baby. We're not doing that again.
Like think about and not only is that a testament to the players, but just the level of discipline and the level of focus that your players have to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that is what is absolutely insane to me. And yeah, like I think I'm looking at this and saying the Indiana Hoosiers won because of one of the most masterful coaching seasons we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that's why and yeah, you're right. Like just because Mendoza's leaving, I don't see any reason why we should just immediately say like, oh, they were a one-off thing. Like the staff is still there. Yeah. People are going to want to go play for him. And I think that they'll be right back in it next year. And again, like an expanded playoff in a conference that is going to get multiple bids, like they're going to be right back in it, I think.
Yeah, which is crazy. And I know we're getting to the early odds. It's going to be so hard to know what to do with odds because we didn't know what the rosters are going to be. Like we're going to have another portal season coming up. And but anyways, yeah, we can get to those now. Indiana and Ohio State are the favorites, right? Heading into next year.
Yeah, so I was going to look at the national championship odds and then also the Heisman odds next year. So right now, the national championship, so this is on DraftKings. Indiana's the co-favorite along with Ohio State. And I guess I'm not too surprised by that. No. Like Ohio State, I think a lot of people thought this year Ohio State was they probably thought Ohio State was the best team in college football for most of the regular season. Right. And maybe it wasn't until the last couple of weeks where we were like, okay, Indiana might be that team. Then you have Texas, Notre Dame, both at plus 750. Should I mention Indiana and Oregon are plus 700. So really, like it's Indiana, Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, and then Oregon's at plus 850. Like those five are all sort of very close together. And yeah, you're right. Like it's going to be hard to see, just because there's so much transfer situations that still need to be resolved. But yeah, I'm happy that Indiana is getting some credit. What's surprising is that Miami is at plus 2,000. I'll tell you that. Like Miami is behind Alabama. They're behind behind LSU. They're behind Texas Tech. They're behind Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel comfortable saying, oh yeah, Miami has the 13th best odds to win a national championship next year. That seems a little far-fetched to me.
Yeah, they gotta finish some transfer work. They got to get a quarterback. They got to kind of fix up their line a little bit. But yeah, I think you'll see those odds move once the roster is finalized a little bit. That especially for Miami.
Mm-hmm. I DraftKings doesn't have it, so I went to FanDuel for the Heisman. So your two favorites that are neck and neck is CJ Carr and Arch Manning. Not terribly surprising. Next, you have a couple of Ohio State guys, Jeremiah Smith, Julian Sayin, and then Indiana's, assuming their starting quarterback, is Josh Hoover, who transferred from TCU. So Josh Hoover is going to be taking over at starting quarterback next year, not Mendoza's little brother. And Josh Hoover is in the top. Yeah.
Mendoza's brother transferred.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he transferred out. Yeah, and he joined. I saw it today. He joined someone. I don't remember
Georgia
who
Tech.
though.
Yeah,
it was Georgia Tech. Okay.
He is now a Yellow Jacket, which was weird. The day after the Natty wins the Natty, transfers to Georgia Tech.
Are you kind of surprised that he didn't want to stay and take over for his brother, or do you think he's like, yeah, everyone's just going to be comparing me to my older brother? Like that's gonna suck. I want to be my own dude.
Well, don't you? I mean, I think that's where one of the staff members probably had the conversation with him, like, "Hey, man, I don't know as if you're going to be ready. Like, if you want to play, you're probably going to need to go somewhere else. Like, enjoy this ride with your brother, get your ring, get your shirts.
Yeah.
But like, hey, and honestly, like a good staff would be like, hey, we'll help you go somewhere. Maybe they know the guys at Georgia Tech. Maybe they, maybe they're friends with them, whatever. Hey, because they have Josh Hoover coming in. Like, he's not going to play over Josh Hoover. Josh Hoover is one of the better college quarterbacks that there is. So it was probably a mutual thing, and he just kept it quiet until after the title, which is the way it should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, like Hoover was already coming there, and if he knew that, like, oh yeah, I'm not going to start over him, then it makes sense. It's one thing to be the backup for your brother. It's another thing to be a backup for some random dude that's just joining the team, and you're like, why am I still here?
But I just like that this wasn't an issue for Indiana during the playoff run. Like, he wasn't going out there, not as far as we know, not upset, whatever. Like, he knew what was going to happen. Obviously, he knew what was going to happen. He went in the portal, and hours later, he landed at Georgia Tech. That's what makes me think they probably helped him with the move. Like, okay, you want to go somewhere else, we'll land you somewhere. So that's better than the guys like not even playing in the national title game because they want to go somewhere else, or not even on the roster anymore. That's stupid.
All right, let's move on to the NFL, shall we? We have the Final Four officially set. A good divisional weekend. Well, okay. The first game and the last game, excellent.
Yes.
The middle two games, one of them was obviously non-competitive, literally from the first play of the game. And the other one was one of the ugliest football games I've ever witnessed, especially like at this level of the season. Like that Texans-Patriots game was a hard watch, straight up. That was a hard watch.
Yeah.
But we have our Final Four teams, and I don't know if you wanted to give any divisional round thoughts before we get to sort of looking at the conference championship matchups. Obviously, like the two games that we were most excited about, Bills, Broncos, and Rams, Bears delivered. We can start with the Bears. I know we got a lot of local people that are listening and stuff, and we don't want to beat a dead horse with it and everything. But if you had to today, Rodney, like, let's do Monday morning quarterback. The Bears lost that game because blank. It could be because of a reason. It could be because of a person. Like who in your mind gets the bulk of the blame, if you will?
I don't know if I put it on the Bears loss because of the Rams. I can't put this on an individual person because, yes, Caleb Williams threw the interception. Yes, DJ Moore ran a bad route. Yes, the defense didn't get a stop late where they could have kept, obviously, the Rams out of field goal position. I don't know as if I can put this on Ben Johnson. I don't know a massive mistake that Ben made that cost this one. So,
where were you at? Where were you at the end of the game with like I still am not buying, like, the people that are saying, oh, he should have gone for two, again, hindsight, like we could argue this to death, but like there were so many times during that game where they needed to get 1 yard, 2 yard, like 4th and 1, 4th and 2, the goal line, literally the possession before they had a chance at the goal line, went for a 4th down, like didn't convert, like all these plays after play after play, and like they couldn't get it. And now we're just like saying like, oh, of course they would have converted that 2-point conversion. Like Ben tried all of these plays, none of them worked. I think one worked, like one of them worked. So it's like, what do you dial up there?
Why be aggressive all game and then not, though, would be my question there. So I am in the camp of going for two, and I will go on record saying I did say it before in our group chat, whatever. And because it's easy to say, but like you had the if you scored there, you had massive momentum, and honestly, the Rams were a little bit in shock in that instant moment. Now, Sean could have called a timeout, but they still get a minute to regroup. it could have failed on them. Obviously, we know how that goes. But like, I guess you were aggressive, and then you weren't. Yes, it did not go well for you many times. But like, I don't know. I guess the odds say, okay, yeah, you struggled on 4th and short all night long. You're bound to get one, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But I can't blame Ben Johnson for that. Like, I think he should have gone for 2? Yes. Do I think he probably should have taken the points earlier in the game? Yes. But that's kind of what Ben Johnson's done all year.
Yeah. If they would have just kicked field goals or in the first half, okay, so this is the thing. There's got to be some sort of limit to 4th down. Always go for it. So like this is a crazy stat, Rodney. So in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, the Bears went for 4th down 12 times.
Yeah,
they converted 5. So like 5 out of 12, right? So not even half, but like 12 times. The next highest was 5 times. And then all other teams were like 3 or fewer. So like the Bears have gone for it on 4th down more than double the amount of the next highest team. At some point, you have to like know that it's okay sometimes to or to take the points and to pick your spots. Because like if he would have kicked early and then they could have been in that spot later on still where it's like, well, guess what? Now you have some plays that the Rams haven't seen yet that are in your bag that like then you could do like you could keep the team sort of like guessing a little bit rather than just like, oh, he's always going to go for it. Like that's literally what Brandon Staley was doing with the Chargers.
Yeah.
And look how that turned out. At first we're like, oh, it's amazing. Look how aggressive he is. But then at some point it's like, dude, like it doesn't work anymore. So like, and if you go back and look at the 4 drives that either ended in, so the first drive, obviously the interception that Caleb, first drive of the game, throws an interception rather than kicking field goal. Could have kicked there, gotten 3. Second quarter, they scored a touchdown. That was another one though. That was 4th down. They could have kicked. Okay. They would have had 6 points. Later on, 2 drives later, they had a 9-drive game where they were at the 32 rather than kicking. They went for it on 4th and 1, didn't get it. Then later on, late in the half, they did kick a field goal. So like they would have had 12 points in the first half instead of 10 by assuming, and obviously Kyra's got to make the kicks, which that's not always a guarantee. But like if they would have just kicked field goal every time that they were in that opportunity, rather than going for it, even though you eliminate that touchdown, you have 12 points instead of 10 points. That's 2 more points.
Right.
And suddenly the math changes a little bit at the end of the game where, then it's 17, that Rams score, then maybe it's 17-15. If you still haven't scored a touchdown, but you've kicked a bunch of field goals, it's 17-15 and you're driving down the field and all you need is a chip shot field goal to win the game. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's ugly. It's gross. It's like, oh my God, they didn't score a touchdown. But guess what? You won the game. You're going to the NFC Championship. Like, that's how this could have played out as well. Yeah. So, and like, if you ask a Bears fan, like, yeah, you wouldn't have gotten those incredible touchdowns, but also you would have won. So it's, you have to, and I think that's just Ben Johnson being young and like a first-time coach, and he'll, I think, realize as time goes on that like going for it isn't always the answer.
Right. So your number one blame is Ben Johnson?
I think so. So. Of all the factors, yeah, like the DJ Moore route thing, like I've seen it a bunch, but like I'm more kind of like, why is Caleb throwing that ball in that situation?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I kind of am on him on Caleb Moore there, and like, yeah, DJ Moore's effort was not good, but like at no point was DJ Moore open.
No, he wasn't.
Throwing it to double coverage down the field in a situation that you did not need to throw that at all. You needed 5 or 10 more yards to be safely in field goal range. You don't need to make that throw.
Let's talk about this real quick, because we probably won't really get a whole lot of time to talk about the other games. We'll stick on the Bears here, but is it in the overtime in the playoffs? Isn't the right move getting the ball first?
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's also something I was thinking about. I want to see the stats of, since they changed the rule, of the number of teams who defer in overtime, what their win-loss record is. Because like Buffalo deferred, Bears deferred, and they both lost. Yeah, like I think that there is some advantage where you get the ball first, okay? And especially if like you're going to be facing a defense, like in the Bears case, you would be getting the ball against a defense that you just took all the way down the field that's already like kind of gassed, right?
Yeah.
So you can control, you can put the pressure on, you can force the Rams to like match you if you go down the field and score. Like that's a ton of pressure to put on. But then even if you don't score, all you need from your rested defense is a stop. And then you know exactly what you need. You know that you need just a field goal. You know that you need a touchdown. And that's it. I think that there is a huge advantage now to getting the ball first in overtime. 100%.
Yeah. But you see all these coaches taking it second. And I'm not sure that's the right move. So no, I was thinking about that as well. And I feel like you want the ball first. And here you got all these coaches taking it second.
Set the tone. Set the tone, right? Yeah. And like, yeah, it's you go, you make it happen. Because then if you get the ball second, it's like you're like, oh my God, like we need to score here, or like, oh hey, we get the, but like, I don't know. I feel like there's this mental hurdle where if you're first and third, like you get over that a little bit. But yeah, I'm totally with you. The only other thought that I was going to say with the divisional games before we move on here is like, what do you do if you're the Bills? I know they fired McDermott. Like, God, I feel awful for them.
Here's this is not my 100% full take of my 100% all mine, but why not Bill Belichick?
I think Bill's done coaching in the NFL.
Tell Bill you need 3 years out of him. You already got an established team. You've got an established quarterback. You know the AFC East. You're not ready for the Patriots to take over the complete dominant reign. Mm-hmm. Bill is obviously not going to want that to continue. You call Bill and say, we need 3 years out of you. We need 3 years. We need 3 years out of you. After that, you can break the record in these 3 years. You got Josh Allen. You got James Cook. We'll go hire a coordinator that you need. You know this division. You don't like that franchise over there. Why not?
It's an interesting theory.
Who are they going to hire Who are they going to hire in Buffalo that's better suited to play in the AFC East with Josh Allen than Bill Belichick? Now here's the only issue. Bill Belichick in his last few years was a terrible drafter. He was terrible drafting.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing, and Buffalo and Brandon Beane promoted, they have not been drafting well the last few years.
Correct. So obviously that would be a downfall. It would be a downfall. But as far as the coaching, as far as the division, I've heard worse. They're going to hire somebody that I don't know. I think I'd probably rather have 70-year-old Bill Belichick. Now, the only question is whether his 25-year-old girlfriend can live in the cold or not. That would be the question.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So thinking about other teams, so like the coaches that came after a previously successful coach was fired. Like this has happened. So Tampa Bay, good example. Mm-hmm. Like Tampa Bay fires Tony Dungy because they were good but couldn't get over the hump, and then Gruden comes in, they win a Super Bowl, right? Mm-hmm. So that's an example. Denver is a good example here where they were really good with John Fox, made a Super Bowl, couldn't get over the hump. Gary Kubiak comes in, they win a Super Bowl. And I know it's happened a few other instances as well. And a lot of times, like these coaches are, even if they weren't like, they won previously, like a Belichick level resume, like they have experience, they can right the ship, they know how to just like do the things necessary to be like relevant and steady and good in the NFL. So like if I'm the Bills, so Bill Belichick, in theory, he absolutely checks those boxes. I just don't think Bill Belichick's going to the NFL anymore. I just think that era has ended for him. But like I understand your argument and your point, but this is going to sound nuts, but like Are we sure that someone like Mike McCarthy couldn't just like be good enough for Buffalo?
But wasn't Sean McDermott kind of just good enough?
No, that's the point. He wasn't good enough. That's why he was fired.
So
Where
so
McDermott for years kind of they peaked, right? They peaked. And like, yeah, you could say McCarthy, blah, blah, blah. But like Mike McCarthy at least has won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right.
He has won a Super Bowl. And Mike McCarthy's done a lot of winning. And he like basically all I'm trying to say is this, and maybe it's not McCarthy, but like I think Buffalo needs to look to see, okay, other teams that were in the same situation as we were, what did they do? Okay, they brought in a proven guy. If I'm Buffalo, like that's who I'm looking for. I'm looking for head coaches who have real experience, who can like I'm not risking Josh Allen never winning a Super Bowl on some first time boy wonder coordinator who might not be head coach material at all. At this point, it's like I need someone who I know is head coach material, and then hoping that he can just make the in-game decisions necessary to be able to win that McDermott couldn't. Plain and simple.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I'm trying to think who else outside of McCarthy fits that mold. Yeah, no, it's interesting.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's not a lot of former head coaches like Cliff Kingsbury, but Cliff Kingsbury wasn't good. Like Brian Flores was a former one, but like I don't know. What about John Gruden?
Yeah, I mean his name's been floated around for a while. I mean I don't. There's no real traction that he's going to get an NFL job though.
No, there's absolutely not. But yeah, like the Bucks with Gruden, the Broncos with Kubiak, like the Giants went to a Super Bowl with Jim Fossil, couldn't get over the hump, and then they hired Tom Coughlin. They won a Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls. So, and Tom Coughlin was someone who had been a decent head coach for a number of years before that. So, like there are these examples before, and kind of seen it with the Patriots a little bit too with Vrabel. So I don't know. There's an argument for it, but I don't envy the spot that the Bills are in right now.
No, and I mean, like I said, if they would have lost the first weekend, Harbaugh could have been called, right? Or I don't know about Stefanski, but Harbaugh could have been called.
Yeah,
things could have been all different. But anyways, here we are.
Anyways, we have 4 teams left. What's insane, Rodney, and I'm sure you figured this out, is that this has been a year where we've had so much parity, so much confusion. Like, oh, the Chiefs are out, and oh, the Eagles got bounced first round. Like, we're finally going to see some new blood, some fresh teams. The 4 remaining teams, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Patriots, the Broncos, all have won at least one Super Bowl since 2014.
Yeah.
And unless the matchup is specifically Rams versus Broncos, the Super Bowl will be a rematch of a Super Bowl that we've seen at least once since 2014. So like all of this parity, and we're still going to end up most likely seeing something that we've already seen in recent memory, which is just, and now granted, the rosters have changed, the coaches have changed, but like it's just funny that we're still going to end up potentially with like Patriots, Rams.
Yeah.
Like again.
To answer the question on here pretty point blank, I prefer to see Rams Broncos. I more the coaching battle of McVay versus Peyton would be fun for me. I mean, obviously McDonald there at Seattle has been terrific, and Vrabel in New England been terrific. But I don't know. I find those two more interesting. Rams being in it, Stafford back in another chance, and his 2 big time receivers. Ideal. I guess that's my ideal Super Bowl matchup. I don't know why, and I don't know between the 4 what the best ideal matchup. I don't even know. Like, I don't know as if I care what the 2 winners are this weekend. I don't think I care.
I could tell you this. So, yeah, I would say Rams Broncos is appealing, one, because it's something we haven't seen, like a matchup we haven't seen yet. And also, like, it is 2 Super Bowl winning coaches, right? Like in very different circumstances, where you have one that has an MVP who like, can we just admit, like Matthew Stafford's playing hurt? Like
Yeah,
He's playing hurt.
Yeah.
And then on the Denver side, a backup quarterback, Jarrett Stidham. So like there are storylines there that I think are super fascinating. And I think that like of all the matchups, I think that one would be the one that's like it's going to be the closest game.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I feel like that's going to be your closest matchup. On the other side, I think the worst matchup is Seahawks Broncos. And I say that because I truly believe if it was Seahawks Broncos, I think the Seahawks absolutely nuke them out of the stadium.
Probably, yeah. With Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, like Broncos get through, but like I don't like because not only do the Seahawks have like a really good offense, but like the Seahawks defense is elite. Like this isn't like it's not like Broncos Panthers from 10 years ago where Panthers had the MVP in Cam Newton, but like the Broncos had this amazing defense. Like the Seahawks have the defense and the offense, and just going up against Jarrett Stidham, I think it would be a nightmare. So that's what I'm least looking forward to. But yeah, I would think Rams Broncos is probably my preferred option. And like to be honest with you, I'm more confident this Sunday. I think I'm more confident in the Broncos winning than the Rams winning. I really am.
Yeah. Yeah, just because we haven't seen a dominant. I mean, Drake May's just been okay in the playoffs. If
it's been good.
Even okay. Yeah,
okay. He's faced the Patriots have faced Justin Herbert and CJ Stroud like in potentially both of their worst performances that we have seen from them, especially Stroud. Like like we need to start asking if CJ Stroud should even be a Houston Texan next year. Like legitimately.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I have no answer there, but like Herbert was bad, Stroud was awful, and like Drake May needed to just be mediocre, and he was probably a little bit below mediocre, and they still won both comfortably. So yeah, I feel like at Denver, like I think the Broncos really, really have a shot to win, and I think the line is what 5.5 right now.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm hammering that. I'm hammering Denver at home at 5.5 points.
Even with Jarrett Stidham?
Yeah, well, I was listening to some interviews today. Like Diana Rossini was talking about how just this last offseason, Jarrett Stidham was a free agent, and the Patriots were desperately trying to sign Stidham to be Drake May's backup, but Denver was able to hold on to him. Like I think teams around the league are higher on Jarrett Stidham than the average fan is, because by all accounts, like Jarrett Stidham is a very well respected backup who. I think with Sean Payton in particular, they can make it work. They can make it work with him for sure.
Yeah. Broncos are 5.5 point dogs, and the Rams are 2.5 point underdogs in Seattle.
It just if this was the Rams 5 weeks ago, I'm like, I love it, but I don't know. Stafford is not. Sean McVay's going to have to coach the absolute game of his life on Sunday.
He might.
And he might because he's great. Yeah. Speaking of coaches, by the way, so we got a couple more head coach hiring. So we have 4 teams that have head coaches now. So obviously we have Harbaugh in New York. We have Stefanski in Atlanta, which, by the way, did you see the thing with Baker Mayfield and Stefanski? Yeah.
Yeah, they're not friends.
Not friends. Miami, of all days, yesterday afternoon, as the Hurricanes are about to play for a national championship, the Dolphins are like, oh, by the way, we signed Jeff Hafley. And, of course, no one cares. And then, not to be outdone, the Titans at like midnight last night were like, we've agreed to terms with Robert Saleh. Weird. So, obviously, we've talked a lot about Harbaugh. We talked a little bit about Stefanski, but like Robert Saleh, Jeff Hafley, like, do you have any sort of immediate reactions to either of those 2 hirings?
Not really. I mean, I want to see. I mean, Saleh didn't work out the first time he was a head coach. I think he still is. It could be, and a lot of times your second job is you become better at it.
Quarterback situation should be better.
Yeah, it'll make a difference what their coordinator situation looks like. I mean, a lot of people are really high on what's going on in Tennessee. They got a lot of cap room, and Ward is supposedly still going to be really good. So we'll see there. Was it McDaniel's going to go where to?
So Mike McDaniel. So nothing's been signed yet in case he gets a head coaching job. But as of now, McDaniel's going to be heading to LA to be Jim Harbaugh's offensive coordinator, which, can I just say, meow. I'm a fan. First of all, imagine just the conversations between Jim Harbaugh and Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, two massive nerds, man.
Just the nerdiest football conversations ever. Like those meetings will go on for 12 hours every day.
Yeah, good luck, Justin. Yeah,
that's a good and Tampa Bay and Philadelphia were both high in McDaniel. I think Philadelphia actually had McDaniel as their top choice for OC.
Yeah, he refused to go interview.
Yeah, and also turned down the head coaching. He took himself out of consideration for the head coach job in Cleveland because he's like, that's probably going to be the end of my career. I'm going to be the OC with the Chargers, light it up there. I think the Chargers, if their tackles are healthy, I think the Chargers can really make waves next year.
I mean, we hope so because they were dismal in the playoffs.
Yes. Well, but the offensive line was horrendous. I know Herbert was bad, but the offensive line was statistically the worst that's ever been in the playoffs.
Right.
So they got to fix that. But the McDaniel thing, it inspires me quite a bit. And we still got quite a few openings like Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Buffalo, all sitting there with openings right now. And I can't wait to see the coaches that get those jobs more so than the Arizona job, Cleveland,
Vegas.
Yeah. Vegas. What's Vegas going to do?
They're just waiting, I guess. I don't know what they're waiting for. Is it still Brian Flores?
I don't know. I was who was the favorite at first, but Flores is getting a second interview with Pittsburgh. That might be an option. I mean, the problem is all the top coordinators are all on the teams that are still playing. LA's got 2 or 3 assistants that are getting interviews. Seattle obviously has Kubiak, and then Denver has Vance Joseph and the Davis Webb and multiple assistants from these teams that they can't do anything about until they're eliminated. So yeah, it's a very interesting cycle. All right, real quick before we get to best bets and our Mount Rushmore, I admit, Rodney, I'm a huge baseball Hall of Fame person, as you know.
Yeah.
I did not know that the announcement was today until I got the notification at 5:01 saying watch live, to see who's headed to Cooperstown on MLB Network. But by the time I saw it, they had already announced it. And Carlos Beltran, former St. Louis Cardinal, Carlos Beltran,
correct.
And Andrew Jones in his 9th year on the ballot was inducted into Cooperstown. So we got Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones, Jeff Kent from the Eras Committee, and Joe Buck will be going into the Hall of Fame this year. So would you like Beltran and Andrew Jones in the Hall of Fame? How do you feel about it?
Both great players, both right in my wheelhouse of Major League Baseball fandomship. I have no issue with either of those two getting in.
Yeah, I think both of them were very, very deserving. I'm trying to see the overall voting, to see the breakdown. So I think the third best was Chase Utley, who came in at just under 60%, I want to say. Kind of sounds like eventually he'll get in. There was one player who was a first-timer who is staying on the ballot past this year. Is Cole Hamels.
Okay.
Yeah. Is Cole Hamels a Hall of Famer to you? I don't know.
That one's a little more debatable to me. I mean, I'd have to really dive into comparison numbers, but he doesn't strike me as an automatic Hall of Famer. Jones and Beltran, to me, you hear the name, I think they should be in Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Excellent, long time, great players. Andrew Jones for his first 10 years in Atlanta was incredible. One of the best defensive center fielders ever. Carlos Beltran, amazing switch hitter, won World Series. He's just a very, very good baseball player. But I have to say, if Carlos Beltran can overcome being the ringleader of the Houston Astros cheating scandal that led them to a World Series and get 84% of the vote, then we need to start thinking about the other guys in baseball that might have cheated and revisit their Hall of Fame candidacy, which, speaking of, Alex Rodriguez got 40%, and Manny Ramirez, in his 10th and final season, got 38.8%.
So Manny's not going in?
So Manny's out. Manny's out officially, off the ballot. So his next chance will have to be in the modern era committee, which doesn't seem too good. But yeah. You know who? Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, Manny strikes me as a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, like Manny Ramirez is one of the best hitters I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That feels obvious. The other one who has no cheating scandals, and real quick, like, why is Felix Hernandez only getting 46%?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, what
One of the
year
best
is
one of
this?
the best pitchers in all of baseball. He's won Cy Youngs. Like, what am I missing with Felix Hernandez? Because we're not going based off like 3,000 strikeouts and 300 wins and all that stuff.
How many years has he been on the ballot now?
I think this was his second year on the ballot.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he strikes me as a Hall of Famer.
Right? Like, it's the same thing with like guys like Johan Santana, who like got no support, whatever. Like, why is it that those pitchers suddenly are not getting viewed as Hall of Famers? But like,
that makes sense.
Mike Mussina, who's great. Like Mike Mussina is a Hall of Famer, but Felix Hernandez and Johan Santana aren't. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
No, I agree.
Yeah. All right, let's get to our best bets for betting here. You decided to talk your shit early on in the weekend. You'll be happy to know that it was irrelevant, as you will later see. So we both got this one wrong, Rodney. You and I both thought the Bills were going to win this game, and damn it, they should have. They should have. But they didn't. And we took the L there. So Bills plus 1.5 is an L. You liked the under in the 49ers and Seahawks game. The good news is that the 49ers were very much on board with that. The bad news is that the Seahawks had other ideas, and it ended up being, what, 41-6?
41-6, yeah. Seattle scored with 12:43 to go to push it to 41-6. Kind of hoping it would be one of those, we're not going to score in the fourth quarter because we're already up by 30. Yeah. But Ken Walker had different plans. Ken Walker was the stud. 3 touchdowns for the Ken.
Was he going to have to do it again because Charbonnet's dead? So
correct.
We don't have to acknowledge this one. The 49ers they didn't show up. I mean, first play of the game. I think first play of the game, I was like, yeah, this one's over. So, yeah, there we go. Good call on this one. I had immediate regrets. Like, Nico Collins was out. And really, Rodney, like, the problem is my analysis was there's no way CJ Stroud will be as bad as he was against Pittsburgh. Like, legitimately. I was like, he was so bad, he can only go up from here. He was worse. So much worse. And yet the Texans still had opportunities.
It did.
And the defense still like made life tough for Drake May and forced turnovers. There were 8 total turnovers in the game between the two teams.
Yeah.
So like
four interceptions.
The Texans defense. Yeah. So the Texans defense all in the first half. If Davis Mills starts the second half for Houston, I forgot what the halftime score was there, but it was a 1-possession game, I think.
It was it was 21-10 Patriots.
Oh, 21-10, yeah. If Davis Mills starts the second half, I think Houston actually has a chance.
Yeah. Well, they scored first. They were the only ones to score in the third. They scored 2 field goals. But they made it 21-16 going into the fourth, and they couldn't score in the fourth. That was the Booty touchdown. Great catch, by the way.
Yeah. Who thought Kayshon Boutte would be like, he's a dude.
He is a dude. He is a dude. 32-yarder from May. That was a great catch.
So it was right around this point. It was after this game where you texted the group chat saying Tim's about to go 0-3 and best bets for betting.
Yeah. Oops. And then, then you got the freaking Bears. Somebody roll right ahead.
The Bears. There was no doubt. There shouldn't have been any doubt in anyone's mind that the Bears were going to do that. And by the way, speaking of this group chat that I keep talking about, like, did I not say, like, what totally insane, unbelievable 4th down conversion will Caleb Williams have this time? Well, I think he did it.
Yeah, literally backwards all the way to the 40-yard line. And initially, Initially, when I saw the first replay, I thought Cole Kmet got away with murder because I saw the dude like literally like lunging forward, like tripping over himself. But it really was just like hand-to-hand combat between the two. It really wasn't bad.
He is going to be at this point. He's either going to be the worst elite quarterback we've ever seen, or the most elite bad quarterback we've ever seen. Like it's going to be like Brett Favre or Jameis Winston. Like those are the two career paths for him.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Cole Kmet, free agent, probably done in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. But kind of figured that going in, but I think they'll pick up another tight end for cheap because they need 2 tight ends there. For sure. So yeah, the Bears are gonna win, and then you and I both were successful in the national championship. The over hit by half a point. 27-21. Those guys in Vegas know what they're doing, and Miami did cover the 8.5 points against Indiana. So all your shit talking, it's led you to the same record that I had, 2-3 for the weekend. You are now 50-56. I am 52-54. So that was vindicating a little bit. No,
I don't really have anything to say to that.
How about this? How about let's say our Mount Rushmore of number 23s. I'm sure that there's probably a couple players maybe in the NBA that come to mind with the number 23, Rodney. So we should just address that right out of the gate.
Yeah, but so yes, we could do that, but I actually am going to go a different direction, and I am going to send my condolences to Ryan Sandberg, number 23 for the Chicago Cubs. Not a Cub fan, but Ryan Sandberg recently passed. He wore number 23 in Major League Baseball. So I think he could be considered or put on this list right away before we get to the NBA guys, which we know anybody that's any good at basketball loves to wear number 23. All the youth players, all the high school players, I want 23.
Right.
I wonder why.
Yeah, the baseball one. So yeah, Ryan Sandberg, the only one who would probably have any claim over him is Zach Greinke, but the problem is Greinke wore it for only about half his career.
Yeah,
and that was his Kansas City number. So I think Ryan Sandberg gets the baseball vote for me.
And nobody likes Zach Greinke.
No, but he will be a first ballot Hall of Famer in a couple years when he goes.
Yeah, probably.
He should. Definitely should be.
And I can probably pretty much tell you that I'm not sure there's going to be need to even necessarily talk about the National Hockey League. Maybe Bob Gainey. Ever heard of him? 4-time Selke winner. Or Bob Nystrom, a 4-time Cup winner. So let's move to the NBA or NFL and see what we got.
So NFL, the only the top player who's worn number 23. There's a good like defensive back number, a couple of running backs, but good defensive back number. Troy Vincent is the best number 23 according to Pro Football Focus. 5-time Pro Bowler, a lot of years with Philadelphia. So you got Troy Vincent, Patrick Surtain Sr., and then Joe Hayden, longtime Cleveland Brown Joe Hayden. So
hold on. What's wrong with Devin Hester?
Is Devin Hester 23? I haven't gotten to him yet.
And what's wrong with Christian McCaffrey?
Ooh, I haven't gotten to him yet. I see. That's the problem. Like, I sort by players like their career numbers, but the guys still playing sort of get screwed a little bit. Christian McCaffrey is a very interesting one, Rodney. But Christian McCaffrey has only been number 23 with the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
He was number 22 with the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, so he's ineligible.
I think that hurts him a little bit.
But Devin Hester's got to be considered. The problem's going to be we know what we're going to get in the NBA.
Yes.
I mean, go ahead.
I'll just say it for the NBA. Like, we're all thinking it. Like, the guy has been an integral part of his dynasty. He won multiple championships. Many love him. Many hate him. But there's just absolutely no getting around it. Draymond Green deserves a spot on the Mount Rushmore of 23s.
Yeah, or Marcus Camby. Remember Marcus Camby?
Marcus Camby. Oh, well, how about this? Okay, in all seriousness, like, this one has just a killer instinct where you need to win. You go to this person who can just elevate to a whole nother level in the best possible spots. Of course, I'm talking about Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, except for last night.
Except for last night,
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace,
R.I.P.
Jimmy.
Jimmy Buckets. Yeah. Teammates with Draymond Green. So, but yeah, so I think that pretty much covers it with the NBA.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Oh,
so we're
wait,
going.
hold on 1 second. Apparently Michael Jordan and LeBron James also wore 23.
So Michael Jordan, Ryan Sandberg, Devin Hester. We're looking at an all Chicago 23, and then you add LeBron in there.
Yeah. I mean, that's well. I mean, we don't have to put Devin Hester there. I don't know if Devin Hester is like the signature 23 in NFL history.
So Ryan Sandberg, Michael Jordan, LeBron James,
but like that fourth spot, it's like Troy Vincent, but like, are you sure there's no one in the NHL that we're missing that wore 23? That's like good.
I didn't love them. Bob Gainey, Bob Nystrom, Sam Reinhart.
I mean, Sam Reinhart's a pretty good player, but like putting Sam Reinhart on the Mount Rushmore next to Michael Jordan and LeBron James just seems bad. Hold on a second. Like, is there like a number 23 in like a sport outside of these big four that we're forgetting about?
I don't know. I not that I know of.
It might just have to be. Hold on. Now this is Google AI, so I might have to confirm. But Google AI tells me that one of this player's numbers for Real Madrid for the LA Galaxy is 23. How about David Beckham?
Oh, yeah. Sold. David Beckham, Ryan Sandberg, Michael Jordan, LeBron James.
It feels like that's the thing. Like it's such a powerful number. It needs to feel powerful. Like it has to have that sort of like that feel to it. And I feel like Devin Hester, none of the NFL guys really match it, but like David Beckham has like the it to put up there with Michael Jordan and LeBron.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah. Let's do it. See, that feels right to me.
Yeah. What number did we start these on?
I think 30.
Yeah. So we're coming to an end soon.
Yeah, a few weeks. That'll be it. Yeah, and then we'll have to make up numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know, other Mount Rushmores. There'll be other Mount Rushmores. I think. Maybe. I don't know. Ask us in a few weeks. And the problem is like we should have planned this much better and like literally started at 1 rather than just like doing it based on show number. Because now it's like the grand finale, number 29. Like
yeah, that would have required planning though, bro.
Yeah, that's not our thing. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of planning. To plan. All right, let's get out of here. You can follow us at Stupid Sports Show on Twitter. Thanks to everyone who tuned in tonight. And reminder, if you missed any of tonight's show or previous shows, in case you want to go back and hear our Week 4 analysis back in September, you can do so on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, anywhere you get your podcasts. Reminder, once again, that in the new year, we got a new show time. Thursdays, 9 p.m. Central. That is our new show time. No more Friday morning. So we're Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Keep it nice and easy for you. So that's all I got. That's all I got, man. And go sign up for Rodney Substack. One of those sides, whatever side you see it, the QR code, scan it, go to his Substack, subscribe. He has won many units for all of his readers. So keep doing that, and you'll thank us for it. Maybe give us a little tip.
We will see everybody on Thursday.
A little finder's fee. That's what I'm thinking. All right, let's get out of here. He's Rodney Newple. I am Tim McJesus Van Stratton, and this has been another episode of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. See you guys.
See ya.
Step right up, dummies, and listen to the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth with Rodney Newple and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.